in every thought, in every movement, in every motivation. Self-expression. Isn't self-expression really self-direction? How you think, how you move, how you motivate yourself? It is. And ambition is a result of self-direction. Positive self-direction says, I know who I am and I know where I want to go. I am accumulating knowledge and experiences and feelings and philosophies that will help prepare me for opportunities that I know will show up without notice. You've already spent a great deal of time thinking about it. You've been working on the parts of your personality that will make you better, working on your attitude, working on your health, working on your time management skills, putting it all down on paper, and you constantly see yourself in the place that you want to be. As you talk with yourself every day, how often do you ask, is what I am doing today getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow? Am I making the daily adjustments necessary? Am I doing all that it takes? Will I keep on doing it until? Direction determines destination. Here's a question you need to ask yourself. Are all of the disciplines that I'm currently engaged in taking me where I want to go? What an important question at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the week, at the beginning of the day. Because here's what you don't want to ever do. Kid yourself. You know, kid your neighbor and kid me and kid the marketplace if you want to, but gosh, you can't kid yourself. With your fingers crossed hoping you'll arrive at a good destination when you're not even headed that way. You say, well, maybe the wind will take me. Well, there's a chance, but you've got to take charge. You've got to ask yourself often, am I doing the disciplines that are taking me in the direction that I want to go? I don't want to be faked out here and think I'm on the way to financial success when there's not a prayer, not a hope. I don't want to be faked out hoping that there's someone else who's going to take care of it. Take care of me. They're not going to take care of it. What if all of your negative relatives turn positive? What'll that do for your fortune and your future? Not much. If prices come down a little, what'll that do for your fortune and your future, and your sophistication and your culture? What'll that do? Not much. If the economy gets a little better, what'll that do? Answer, not much. If you don't make plans of your own, you'll fit into someone else's plans. And guess what they have planned for you? You're right. Not much. Most people wake up every morning counting on this not much list. And that's why what they have is not much. Not much hope, not much promise, not much progress. They're driving what they don't want to drive, living where they don't want to live, doing what they don't want to do. Forget the thief waiting in the alley to snatch your purse. What about the thief in your mind? Lazy, not stimulated by thoughts and questions. Don't become a victim of yourself. Ask yourself these questions. Is this the direction I want for my life? Is it someone else's direction? Is it a goal that I have been ingrained with since my childhood? Is it my parents' or my spouse's or my boss's or my children's? Is it mine? Ask yourself these questions. Debate them if you will. Debate what will work for you and won't work for you. But most importantly, get into the debate of your inner mind. What am I doing that works? What am I doing that doesn't work? Debate it all. Work with your mind to figure out the best possible direction for you. Your self-direction. Direction must be your own, or it can end up being damaging. Damaging to your soul, damaging to your spirit, damaging to your health. So parents, be watchful of how you motivate your children. Give them all of the resources to make their own choices and back them up. Give them the freedom to discover their own direction. It may not be the direction you'd hoped for, but it is their direction. And with their own direction, they will reach their own destination.
The power to create, the power to destroy. And how that comes about for me, and maybe the way to come about the subject is to share with you, first of all, why I've been coming here and why I eventually invested in this resort years ago. I've had the incredible experience of being transformed literally every time I come here. When I come back to the States from here, I'm more energized and more revitalized than virtually anything else that I do. The experience of being here in Fiji transforms you by being in the environment alone. It's not just the birds, which you might be able to hear in the background, and the ocean and the waves, but the people here change the quality of your life by being around them. You know, many times before you've heard me share the idea that ultimately the key distinction to shaping your life is who do you spend your time with? Because the people you spend time with will affect your beliefs, your values, how you think, how you act, who you become as a human being. And in Fiji, there's a level of happiness and joy here that is unmatched in my experience literally around the world. Now, granted, the environment sure as heck helps. I mean, you come here and you were literally in a Garden of Eden. Our resort here has been named as one of the top 10 most romantic places in the world. You go out in the gardens, you're surrounded by the perfume of plumeria and jasmine and the most incredible plant life you can possibly imagine, with wild parrots flying through the air nearby, and a waterfall you can shower in, and a 15-foot blowhole right here off the side of my home here, and a reef that you can climb over for hours and hours and constantly find new types of life, and snorkeling that's better than most of the diving you go to in the world, and diving that literally is in the top 3 diving spots in the world. All of that certainly helps. And if it sounds like I'm promoting my resort to you, it's because I don't want to leave, as I've already said. But the bottom line is what really makes people come to Fiji is the people themselves. The people here are so loving. They are so outgoing. They are so friendly. They start with a smile and they end with a smile. They have the most infectious giggles you could possibly imagine. And they live like this every single day. If you've been to one of my seminars, you know I've shared the experience of Fiji many times, but one of the things that happens when you drive down a little road here is no matter where you go on the island, people jump up when they see you driving by and they yell, "Bula, bula, bula," which means welcome, be happy, we love you. Now, where does this experience of life, this incredible amount of joy, where does it come from? What's the genesis of this type of lifestyle? It all begins with a set of beliefs. The Fijian people have a set of core beliefs that guide their emotions and feelings, that controls their actions, and it shapes their destiny. And those beliefs are very easy to get access to. All you have to do is ask them, what's the purpose of life? And invariably they'll smile at you as if your question is some kind of cosmic joke. And they say to be happy, of course. What else is there? They believe that life is joyous. Every single day is a gift from God. That the purpose of life is to be happy. And that everything in life, if it's not working out right now, it eventually will. All you have to do is have a little faith, take a little action, that, this too shall pass. And these simplistic core belief systems create within them a sense of optimism like few places you've ever been in the world. A sense of positive expectancy that guides their behavior and the quality of their life. And it's infectious. I mean, no matter where you were, my favorite thing to do, and one of the reasons I invest in this resort is because when people come here, they're transformed. I mean, it's like I don't have to be here. People can come here and they get the same experience that they do in going to a seminar. When I first got here a few days ago, a gentleman was leaving and he was describing himself as a high-stress type A personality, but you couldn't see it in him when he was leaving. He had tears in his eyes and talked about how he didn't think it was very macho, but he just had expressed his feelings as he hugged all of our staff, his new family, and said he'd be sure to come back. I love to see people transform where they begin to remember what's most important in life, how life can really be. But it comes because of these beliefs, surrounded by them on a regular basis. And the core belief amongst them is that Fijian people feel like they're in control of their life, that adversity is temporary, that challenges will go away. In fact, their core belief that problems do not last is represented by a phrase that you'll hear quite often. If you ask somebody how they are, they usually say, "Senganalenga," which means no worries. In fact, our band here at the resort is called the Senganalenga Band. They just feel like there are no worries. Nothing in life is worth worrying about because no problems last. Eventually, you find a way to deal with them, handle them, or life changes. And it gets better always. Life is always getting better is their core belief. One of their favorite phrases that they say on a regular basis is, "I like it." That ought to give you an idea about the optimism that they have within the culture. And they say it with such enthusiasm and energy, it's amazing.
Every morning, you start your day. Sometimes you tend to think about what you did yesterday. You think about what you could have done, what you should have done, but it didn't turn out the way you wanted it. You start getting into an abyss of self-hate. Now that sounds pretty harsh for some people, but there are a lot of people right now that are going through this experience in their lives. They don't seem to love themselves anymore. They feel hopelessness. They feel lost. They feel that no one cares about them, and that they're the only one in the world that exists. I'm here to let you know right now, you have to turn it back up again. You got to get into a position where you start to realize that if you don't love yourself, then no one will love you. And you have to stop depending on chasing people to love you. How can you receive love if you don't give yourself enough love within yourself? How can you understand what it means to love if you don't love yourself within? Get it. You've had some hard times. I understand it. It's been a tough road for you. But I want you to think for a moment. Do you really have it that bad? Are you really going through so much in your life that the other person that you may have met that's just down the road from you, that may have crossed your path, and maybe they didn't even look your way? But did it ever come across your mind that maybe they're going through a lot more than you going through right now in your life? But they understand that, hey, I still got to love myself. Have you ever looked at a homeless person on the street and wondered why are they in that position? Would you probably even think to yourself that, why are they still living? Why do they want to be in this position? Who says that they want to be in that position? Do you realize they was not always in that position? Do you realize that a homeless person had a home at one time in their life? But they must still love themselves. They must still believe that they love themselves enough to not give up their life. So while you're sitting around wondering about all of these things that you're dealing with, give yourself a chance and start loving yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to stop hating yourself within and start giving love, unconditional love of yourself. And stop giving in and hating on you. Are you worried about what people think? Are you concerned about being in a certain group? You need to feel important, but these people don't make you feel important. You don't need their permission to feel loved. You don't need to be connected to these type of people because they don't even love themselves, because they feel they got to belong to something or someone to be someone special. Since the day you were born, you were special. Since the day you were born, there was something already ready for you. You just got to go after it and believe that there's something waiting for you, but it won't wait too long. Because you got to have enough love within you to get what it is that you are seeking. See, we always on a mission. The mission of success. The mission of believing. The mission of loving. There is no time for hate. Hate is not going to build you up. Hating yourself is not going to make you strong. You're concerning yourself about what people think about you. What they think is all they can do is think. Thinking doesn't necessarily get you anywhere, but doing is another. And you, my friend, need to be doing the right thing and loving yourself. Put your arms around yourself and give yourself a kiss and believe that you matter. Love you. No matter what the world is doing, no matter what the craziness that we are facing, have enough sense and enough idea within yourself that you are special, and you must understand that your love matters.